360. You're on the mic with Dr. Ace, the global mentor coach. And listen, there's a lot of talk going on right now about Brexit. There's so much going on. This is just shaping up to be, I don't even know what to say about it, to be honest. It's just, this thing is just about to affect so many countries, so many people. And so let's just get into it because we don't really know what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, but there is so much, and I mean so much going on. Brexit seems to be a huge catastrophe. Just in them trying to work out the details and hash out how it's going to move forward. But I'm telling you, something has to be done about Brexit. There's so much frustration with how they're actually going to do it. And I can understand that there's some fears around it. The Prime Minister, Theresa May, is really trying to give the people what they voted for. The people have voted to exit the European Union, but there are factions, there are groups, there are political parties who are really trying to make it a really difficult for her to do that for their own reasons. And so there's some concerns. There's some things going on. If you didn't know, there are German manufacturers, candy manufacturing companies for specifically who have expressed concerns about Brexit and how it's going to affect them. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be huge. It's really going to be huge. You wouldn't run a business the way the way they're handling Brexit. So you definitely don't want to run a country that way. I agree with Adam Marshall. He is the head of the British Chamber of Commerce. It's been really hard right now just trying to work out something, a way to be able to um, make decisions in regards to how Brexit is going to happen. Even if they just start somewhere with a tentative or proposed timeline, they need to do something, just because it's going to affect their economy, the world economy overall. But I'm going to be honest, I was very surprised that the European Union has lasted this long. I really didn't expect it to last this long, but it has. And hey, I think that this is groundbreaking. It's going to lay a foundation for other countries to follow. You know, their own currency, they can just go back to the currency that they used to have, but it's just other things. It's going to affect different things. So, for instance, let's see, Mike Hawes, he is the Auto Industry Group's chief executive. He says uncertainty has already paralyzed investment, cost jobs, and damaged our global reputation. Um, the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders said Thursday that the number of cars produced in Britain plunged over 15% in February compared to last year, the ninth consecutive monthly decline. If you don't think Brexit is about to affect some business in a major way, you are sorely mistaken. The Bank of England says Brexit is costing the UK economy about £800 million. That's about $1 billion a week, as the uncertainty causes investment to drop and forces consumers to tighten their belts. Nobody's spending, basically what that's saying is ain't nobody spending no money. No, nobody's spending any money. Because people are being cautious. I mean, people are just really being cautious right now. And so you can't really blame them. You can't really blame them. If I was a consumer, I'd be cautious too. As a business owner, I'd be cautious about my investments as well. And so heading over to Germany, some of the candy manufacturers are concerned about their costs and how Brexit is going to affect their businesses. From gummy bears, chocolate, licorice, all of these things are sweets that Britons love, but the problem is how can they get it there? Because at the end of the day, who wants to stockpile a whole lot of product? Let's trying to go cold. I mean, it's just that's money. That's not going to work. So they're really worried about that. I mean, Brexit, that deadline is done. That deadline is done, but there are they don't have any clear guidelines or regulations as far as import and export. So people they don't really know what's going to happen. So that's causing supply shortages, price increases, all kinds of things that are happening. And so that affects people's business. And so here's the thing, when they voted to exit the European Union, the question is, Who thought it was a good idea to wait around and find out what was going to happen? Somebody should have had an alternative plan to move the business forward regardless of Brexit. Yes, Britain is a big market, but you should have been exploring another market so that you're not depending it upon one market to keep your business solvent. Because I don't know about you, but German chocolate is amazing. It's delicious. And everybody should have an opportunity to experience that. And so, but I can understand right now, Sebastian Fashion, I hope I'm saying his name right, from the Association of the German Confectionery Industry says they don't even know what custom forms to fill out or what customs class they'll be in. That's the big issue. So again, somebody at this company, at these German manufacturing companies, needed to be thinking about alternative, solutions to this problem. Okay, other markets to export to, because import export is about to be a problem. Germany delivers 800 million euros. That's $919 million worth of candy to Britain every year, and up to 3,000 jobs in Germany are linked to these exports. That makes Britain the second largest importing country of Germany, specifically as it relates to German sweets after France. So what's the big issue? The issue is when Britain leaves the European Union, they won't have any free trade agreement. So they'll have to actually go into the process of signing free trade agreements, independent free trade agreements. And so that's why these companies are trying to figure out what to do, because when Britain leaves the European Union, they don't have any free trade agreements. So now they're kind of out there. So import export is about to be a nightmare. So again, that's going to affect the economy and a whole lot of other things. So when it comes to being in business, you got to pay attention to this. Brexit was happening. The people voted. Brexit was happening. There was no stopping it. It was, as a business owner, what was your plan to ensure solvency in your business when Brexit happens? Okay, you've had plenty of time to think about this. So now, okay, we need to explore other markets so that we can expand that to make sure that we're solvent in the middle of this crisis. This is what happens when you verbally put all of your eggs into one basket. Yeah, don't do that. So, this is about to be an issue. Is going to cause some huge losses for them, unfortunately. But the other thing is too, this is going to have some issues for British sweet candy producers as well, because they export to Germany. So they're going to be affected. There's some insecurity there as well. So they're on both sides of the English channel, if you will. There's some issues there when it comes to import and export. So as a business owner, these are some things that you want to think about. Brexit is going to affect everyone. The world economy. It's going to affect everyone. So you want to think about that. So let's, if I were you, pay close attention to it. I know a lot of people, again, Sandra Sullivan, she's the director of the British Food and Drink Association. She says they're waiting for clarity on the Brexit deal. That's something that companies need with such a short space of time between now and the end of March. We are at the end of March. I'm actually using an article from the Associated Press from January of 2019. And so Sullivan says it's really important that the government pushes forward and gives up the information we need to be able to plan for the future. I agree. But in the instance that you don't get this information, what do you do as a business owner? You don't sit and twiddle your thumbs. And that's what I'm saying. You don't sit and twiddle your thumbs. You get up, you do what you got to do, and you make it happen. You explore other options, because there's always other options. Thanks for tuning in with me, Dr. H, the Global Mentor Coach. You've been listening to another episode of Business Basics right here on Anchor FM. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing it with all of your other friends who are in business. Continue to share the podcast, and remember to spread lots of love and light. Have a good one.